right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Crunchtime. I am Christian Hunt alongside, to my right, Mr. Dylan Walton, and then to my left, we have Mr. Bryce Robinson. Guys, how was everybody's weekend? I know me and Dylan, we were pretty busy with the hockey setup.
And it was my birthday this weekend.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Happy late
It's
birthday.
fine, bro. They sang me happy birthday. I didn't like that at all. I got sang happy birthday like 4 times. I didn't like that. But yeah, it was my birthday. So yeah, on Sunday. Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
Nice. I had a very long, full weekend of college football and NFL football, and it was just not a great weekend of ball for me. You know, a lot of teams that I like to root for didn't win, and let's just put it at that. It was a very bad weekend of ball for me. So,
let's see. For me, it was obviously hockey Saturday, Sunday. And then, yes, football-wise, I had to watch Vanderbilt blow a potential game-winning and then a game-tying field goal against Missouri, which that would be such a Vanderbilt thing to do, is to lose to Georgia State and then go beat a top 10 team on the road. But that's Vanderbilt. That's another subject for another day. And then I had to listen to how my Titans were getting beaten at home against Malik Willis, of all people. Malik Willis decided to play like he was Michael Vick reincarnated, so that's just that. Why he couldn't play like that when he played for us, I don't know.
Confidence, bro.
I guess. And then I went 0-3 in fantasy because I had multiple leagues with, like, I know one league I had Ramondre Stevenson. He got a whopping goose egg. And then I know Jameson Williams had a bad week. He only had like 1 catch. And then who else had a bad week for me? Laporta got hurt, so he only had like 5 points. So, yeah, it was rough. I've gone 0-3 in fantasy in back-to-back weeks. So we're hoping to turn it around.
Back-to-back weeks?
Back-to-back weeks. Ooh. I've gone 0-6 in my last fantasy matchups.
And we couldn't get the play bar to go?
Okay. Exactly, dude. It was rough. But I did pull off a trade mere an hour ago. As of this recording at Thursday at 11:33. No longer Wojbomb. He retired.
Yeah.
I want to get everyone's live before we start. Live reactions. All right. I traded Lamar Jackson, DJ Moore, and Jalen Reed for Patty Mahomes, Debo, and Alec Pierce.
He stole from that man.
I give it an A-.
He stole from him. If Debo wasn't hurt, it'd be an A++.
Well, I think that's.
Well, I don't think the trade would happen if Debo was.
If Debo was healthy, it would not happen.
You could be like me and drafted Christian McCaffrey first overall, but yeah, he's on IR now.
I am like you, and I drafted Christian McCaffrey overall.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, you
all
did?
Right, I know this is an Austin Peay show, all right, but
I drafted him on Raw.
But listen to this catastrophe that's happened in my league. All right, this is on my bench. All right, Nick Chubb, which we already knew he was going to be hurt for the start of the season. I'm not mad about Nick Chubb. But Pacheco,
he gone.
McCaffrey,
He gone.
Keenan Allen's been hurt.
He gone.
Ever since like week 1, and now Laporta's hurt.
So you got no bench.
Yeah, my bench is Braylon Allen, Alec Pierce, and then Amari Cooper right now.
And he hurt.
Yeah, well, they said he's good to go.
Okay.
They said he's just questionable. So, anyway, I know that was a little bit of a fantasy rant, but we're just going to,
I'm 0-3 in my main league, so I don't really got nothing.
I'm 1-2 across the board.
I'm 1-2 as well.
Yeah, but your fantasy league doesn't really even matter.
What do you mean does it matter?
You're doing it with, like, your family members and whatnot. There's
ain't no stakes.
There's no stakes at it.
We're doing it for bragging rights.
No, bragging rights ain't enough. I need that cash app.
Exactly.
I need that cash app. I'm 3-0, 1-2, and 0-3.
Oof.
Yeah.
All right.
That's tough.
Enough with the fantasy talk. Let's start talking Govs. The Govs did win their first game of the season in football. So Jeff Ferris, round of applause, gets his first win as the Govs head football coach. The Govs ran for 331 yards, 49 carries, averaging a roughly 7 yards a pop. On the other side, the Govs only allowed 1.9 yards per rush, giving up 57 yards. So obviously, there's more stats to talk about, but just want to get y'all's perspective on this. Do you think that this is – obviously, we're going to talk about the first win of the season, so let's get your perspective on that. Let's start with Dylan. What are your thoughts on us getting finally in the win column?
I'm torn between finally we got our first win, and it's like this was a gimme. From what I watched on film, Alabama A&M has played way better than what they showed at Forterra the other weekend.
Against non-Division I
It doesn't matter who you play; it's about how you play. Ain't that right, Bryce?
That's true.
Come on now, and that's a Division I quarterback right there, baby. So I expect them to play a completely different brand of football, and I'm assuming they either left that at their dorm room or on the bus, because that's not what they showed up to play like. They had like 3 turnovers in the first quarter, I want to say, and the game was over after the first quarter, basically. The game was over. So as far as Jeff Ferris getting his first win as a head coach ever, right?
Yes.
So congratulations, that is a feat many people cannot conquer, and he is one he's joined the club. So, but I'm not impressed at all. You know, this is a D2 team. We were supposed to win. You know, I had us losing. You know, it was a close game. I had us losing. I'm sorry. I know. I'm just not a fan so far. I'm not a fan of the type of football we playing. But hopefully this confidence builder that we had right here, this is a stepping stone in this game. So hopefully, you know, this win just puts us in the right place. That's all I'm hoping for, because, you know, later on in the show when we talk about our next matchup in Southern Utah, I think that'll be the real test. I think that'll be, you know, to see what this team is really made of. But we did what we were supposed to do against Alabama A&M. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a great confidence booster for the team. I think they definitely needed that. It's hard to win college football games, no matter who you're playing. But like I said, my mindset going into this game for the Govs was if they didn't win by 50, then they would have had a problem. And just seeing the first drive of the game, they fumbled on the first drive, and I think we had a scoop and score or something like that. If it wasn't the first drive, it was the first quarter, somewhere along those lines. But you as a Division I team, you kind of need these games when you're going through an 0-3 slump to kind of boost your team's confidence, put them in the right direction, show that you can score points, you can put points on the board. And like you said, congrats to Coach Ferris on his first win as a head coach in Forterra Stadium. It's always a big accomplishment for a college head coach to win your first game in your home stadium. So congrats to him on that. Like I said, it's not easy to win college football games, but this one, if you were going to say, was probably an easy one to win. And my mindset was that I had us winning, but I didn't know if we were going to make it close or not. My mindset, like I said, was if we didn't put up 50 points, then something was going to be wrong with us. So, but kudos to them on getting their first win of the season, and we'll see what happens after that.
All right, just to make it clear, Alabama A&M is a Division I opponent. They are an HBCU, historically black college university, but they are Division I. They are FCS, like essentially I think all HBCUs are FCS. But, yeah, I mean, like you said, it's a team that you played a couple years ago in 22 on the road. We won in pretty handed fashion. They had a little bit better team then. I know the quarterback in 22 was pretty dang good.
They had an elite band, too.
Oh, well –
it's HBCU, baby.
I'm
staying for my folks. We come when it's about that music now.
Yeah, I know every time we played Tennessee State, whether it was home or on the road, they brought their band.
Yeah.
And their band is electric. And I know it's Tennessee State, but, yeah, HBCUs obviously have a rich history of having incredible bands. I wish our band was like that personally.
Our band is mid. I'm sorry. I'm sounding like a hater right now. I sound like a hater.
Well, compared to what they do, it would. But yeah, you mentioned it. We won in all 3 phases: special teams, defense, offense. Had scored in all 3 phases as well. Had the scoop and score on defense. Had the Roman Copeland punt return for a touchdown, and obviously on offense we got multiple touchdowns. Mentioned it, Roman Copeland, 82-yard touchdown. Number 11, Lavelle Wright, and Corey Richardson, number 26, had over 100 yards rushing. So, again, it tied into how we ran for over 300 yards as an offense, which is – I don't care who you are, like you said, Bryce. It's hard to rush for 300 yards. That's something you can hang your hat on. And then Austin Smith was effective. He had a quiet day in terms of stats, but 10 to 13 for $114 and a touchdown. So, it's not a lot, but effective. It didn't have to do a lot. In all reality. So we improved to 1-3 on the season. The Bulldogs fall to 2-2 on the season. How much do you think this win means to not only the team, but Jeff Ferris obviously being his first win as a head coach? Let's start with Bryce.
I mean, I feel like it's definitely going to take some heat off him. You know, he finally got that first win under his belt. You don't have to worry about going 0-4 on the year. You finally got that first win. You kind of regathered yourselves. You got a tougher opponent this week. Coming in, we're home this week, correct? We'll be at home on a team that took us down the wire last year in double overtime at their place. So if this win is a crucial step in for them having success further on in the season, you know, for them, like I said, for them to get that first win under their belt and have it just a big confidence booster for your team. You know, like I haven't been a part of many teams where you go 0-4. I mean that when you go 0-4, that locker room is just not the best place to be during that time. You know, like people are hanging their heads and people are like, "What are we doing wrong?" So like to be able to get that first win under your belt is a crucial step for them, and for them to be able to take the next step in this season.
Yeah, basically just second everything you saying. And my thing was, as far as the win on the coaches side, you get to see what plays, what formations did certain players work best in. You know, what scheme, okay, were we a zone running team this week? You know, were we outside, inside running? You just got to see the small details and what worked for what players and what group of players. So I think maybe we can build on that. But I see as far as getting confidence, me personally, being a former athlete, I've never been Division I. I'm going to state that as many times as possible. But I'm an athlete to the day I die. You know what I'm saying? I'm an athlete to the day I die. You can never take that away from me, okay? You can never strip my athletic ability away from me, right? And as an athlete, I love to compete. You knew deep down, you knew off the bat, not even deep down, you knew off the bat. You was mollywopping them. You knew that off the bat. You knew if we played the type of team that we are and we play our brand of football, we mollywopping them, and that's what we did. Regardless of how they played Austin Peay. We played the right way, and we mollywopped them as we should. So as a real competitor, this was just get on the board. Next week is let's see if we really bout what we bout. Let's come to play.
I do want to mention that this was the first team that Austin Peay has played this season that hasn't been ranked in some form or fashion, right? Louisville is ranked right now. They weren't ranked at the time we played them, but they are an FBS Power 4 team, which I guess it's going to be back to the Power 5 here in a little bit. Pac-12 is trying to regather themselves, essentially steal the Mountain West.
Yeah, with Memphis, Tulane.
That one didn't make sense.
Yeah, that didn't make
Memphis,
no sense at all.
I don't know why Memphis leaves the American, but that's a topic for another day. But, yeah, I mean, listen, Louisville's ranked in the top 25 in the FBS right now, and then SIU, Southern Illinois, and Central Arkansas, which obviously we didn't talk about because we didn't have an episode 2 weeks ago. They mollywopped us, but we're going to get past that. But to the point is that this is the first team that the Governors have played that have not been ranked in some form or fashion. And I do think that has to be taken into context because – I mean, that was a brutal 3-game start to the schedule for Jeff Ferris, especially for. I mean, Bryce, you know this. I mean, guys who we've talked about this too. Guys who haven't played together as an actual team that you can practice till the cows come home. Until you play the game. I'm not saying that practice doesn't mean anything because it does. Like obviously, you have to do the reps in order to body memorization. Actually run the plays. So you know what your job is. But until you actually play the game. You really aren't a team yet.
You have to go through something difficult together. I feel like when you go through tough times together, that's when you really see what kind of team you have and what kind of teammates you have. To be able to see like how my brother's going to react to a 15-yard penalty, what's his body language like? Is he going to give his all for me, even though he just cost us 15 yards? Like you said, practice. You're building that foundation. I feel like the games when you take that next step, you're adding that extra layer in there to be able to figure out who you are, what kind of team you have. What you're going to do when adversity strikes, because adversity strikes in every game no matter what happens. You could be up 50 points, and adversity is still going to strike at some point. You hardly ever have a game where nothing goes wrong, So just seeing how teams react in those moments is really what you want to look at. And when you have mopping wins like this, you don't want to just brush it under the rug. You still want to find areas where you struggled at. And I remember, Dylan, you said, what did we do well this week? Well, I feel like one thing we did well this week was we gave our athletes the ball.
Yep.
You got your athletes the ball in space. Jaden Barnes, give him the ball in space and let him go earn his scholarship. He's here. He's on scholarship for a reason. Let him go do what got him here, and that's just be an athlete.
Skills pay the bills, baby.
Give him the ball in space. Let him make one or two guy miss and possibly go break one to the house. So I feel like that's one thing that they have to build off of going into this week is how can you get your best players the ball in space. Get it out of Austin's hands, let your playmakers go to work. So that's kind of what I took away from this.
Get it out of his hands quick because, I mean, listen, the offensive line played well, obviously rushing for over 300 yards. But, we talked about it ad nauseum, but we'll continue to talk about it. When you drop back 50 times a game, that's tough on any offensive line. I don't care if it's an NFL offensive line, if it's a Division I Power 4 offensive line, that's tough. And because you're asking 5 guys to do their job at a high, not just a good level, but a high level 50 times a game. And that's going to be hard for anybody, no matter what level you're at. But again, I wanted to mention that the rankings, because I thought that was interesting because, again, you're facing 2 top 10 FCS teams. You're facing a I believe they're top 15 in Louisville FBS team.
Yeah, top 15.
So now you face a team that you are either at or a higher level of talent than, which is great. And I think it's, again, a confidence booster, to say, hey, we are still Division I football players. Like Bryce said, we are still on scholarship. We're still good football players. Now it's going to get interesting to see how they face UAC play. I know they've already played Central Arkansas, the best team in the conference, arguably. But now they're going into the quote-unquote teeth of their schedule in conference play. But again, huge shout-out to Jeff Ferris, obviously getting the first win as a head coach. That's huge in any work-type environment. I know you gave him a big shout-out, but again, we really want to
for sure
give him some love because, listen.
Ain't nothing guaranteed. Nothing's
guaranteed in this world. And you mentioned it, Bryce. Winning a football game at any level is hard. Winning a Pee-wee football game is hard. I don't care what level you are at. So we want to give Jeff Ferris a huge shout out, and again, getting his first win as a head coach. We are going to talk about the matchup against Southern Utah here in a second, but first we want to discuss the Govs matchup. Before we get to that, we have our Athletic Gov of the Week, which is brought to you by our very own Kendall Ball and Ellis Ellis. So guys, go ahead and take it away.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Crunchtime interview. I'm Kendall Ball. I'm here with Ellis Ellis. And our guest, FCS Special Teams National Player of the Week, Ramon Copeland. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm glad to have you on the show. But first, we like to, get to know our guests. So tell me about yourself, your backstory.
First, let me introduce myself. I'm Ramon Copeland Jr. I'm from Chesapeake, Virginia. I'm a transfer from Hampton University. I got my degree in sports management there, so I'm here getting my MBA and human resources here.
Oh, that's great to know. Ellis, we've been teammates with Ramon, and, we got to meet him this year, his first year on the team, and it's been great getting to know him,
So, Ramon, you say you're from Hampton University. What is it like transferring, and what that process was like?
The biggest thing is the culture-wise, the resources. Just far as on a business standpoint here, you don't have to worry about the things you gotta take care of outside of football. But there, I had to be on top of them, which was with Pell Grant money or classes, making sure I'm taking the right classes. But here, everything is just taken care of, so I ain't gotta worry about that.
So, first year here at Austin Peay, what is it like environment-wise? How did you grow into that, and how it impacted you?
When I came here in May with you guys, it pretty much was a smooth transition. Everybody was allowed to be themselves. You wasn't judged for just being yourself or whatever. So I kind of just fit in the category. But everybody was pretty much on the same page when I got here. We had the same goals and just wanted to come here and ball. But Tennessee, it's a good place of living here. I'm into nature, so it's a lot of land and it's a lot of waters and stuff over here. So that's what I'm into. Just fit perfectly.
Well, piggybacking off of Ellis, you said it's your first year at Austin Peay, and you've already made a huge impact on the field. So let's talk about last week. I know you've been asked a lot of times about the game you had. You had a punt return, you had a good kick return. Tell me about that game and what made that game so successful in the special teams.
Coach Ferris, Coach Nudo, they just preach about how important special teams is, and we had to play good on all 3 phases. So just going into that game, we knew that we had to go out there and dominate and just play our game, play our speed, and just go out there and have fun. But we executed it, and we got the dub, and it was a great feeling. And we had a big crowd with us. They're always there to support us through the games, whether we win or lose. So it's hats off to them. But Coach Fair just said never get complacent, don't get too comfortable, just continue to chase that winning feeling. So it was a good feeling.
Yeah, and I know, returners, it's a hard job. You have to track the ball, make sure you have possession first, and then make a play where you got 11 people running down the field full speed coming at you. So tell me how it is when the ball's in the air. What goes through your mind?
When the ball's in the air, the first thing I gotta do is catch it. Like, that's the possession. That's the number one thing. Then after that, it's time to go to the end zone. You know what I'm saying? So just what those plays, it was just all about just going out there and dominating, just playing fast and just executing. But when the ball in my hands, I'm just trying to score every time I touch it. So that's probably what happened last Saturday. So that's pretty much happened.
Talking about sports here, what made you get into football and why?
That's a good question. So I've been playing football since I was 3 years old. Ever since I came out the womb, for real, I always had a football in my hand. I was always watching football. I was always just around it. So I decided to take that route because it just made me just be in that standpoint and just be away from everything else. So I put my focus on it and just like look what God did. So
I will say, dealing with football, who's one person that impacted you, and how did they impact you when it came to football? And,
It was my little brother. My little brother, I'm his role model. So anytime, even in high school, he see me scoring, he's the first one in the end zone, probably run on the sideline, the most happiest kid ever to see. So, that's what really impacted me.
Well, that's all we have for the show. And I'd like to thank our guest, Roman Copeland Jr., again, FCS Stats Performer, Special Teams Player of the Week. And I'd also like to thank Ellis for doing this with me. I'm Kendall Ball, and back to y'all.
All right, guys, really good job with that interview. Glad to see Ellis on the screen for the first time. But Kendall, really good job, as well as Ellis. Again, you're going to see those guys throughout the season getting interviews. Obviously, when you get an 82-yard punt return, you're probably going to be Player of the Week, Gov of the Week, probably most weeks.
Yeah. At any school.
At any school. So huge shout-out to Roman Copeland, again, for what he's done. Had a little bit of a quiet day receiving, but obviously, again, when you have a big day in special teams, that's going to make you're going to get a lot of love. Yeah. And he should. But that's a huge shout-out to Roman, huge shout-out to Kendall and Ellis for getting that beautiful interview. Before we move on, we are on social media at Crunchtime APSU for both Twitter, a.k.a. X, and Instagram. We did get the logins from Reese for the Instagram.
We called him.
We got him for the Instagram, but we have yet to get the Twitter. Obviously, Reese is a Division I athlete, so he is very busy. So we are trying our best to get him to give us that login. But again, give us a follow at APSU Crunchtime for both Twitter and X, a.k.a. Twitter. But guys, let's get into this next matchup. We are staying here in Clarksville for the next game, Forterra Stadium, against the Southern Utah, the Thunderbirds, a very unique mascot. They come into this game at 1-3, the same record as the Govs. They have not. This is their first conference game. Obviously, the Govs have already played a conference game. Talking about their schedule, they lost their opener 49-0 to Utah, but they beat Mr. Scotty Walden week 2. They beat UTEP 27-24.
It was the kicker's fault.
We can blame kickers all we want, but it is what it is.
It was.
In overtime, mind you, in overtime. And then they went on to drop their last 2 games. They lost to UC Davis 24-21, and then they lost last week to Idaho State by a score of 38-28. So guys, just from your first Google search, just from seeing what this team is, what are your thoughts on the Thunderbirds?
Me? Right.
Go ahead. You go first.
I told y'all I came prepared today.
He's got notes.
Usually, y'all, they the college football gurus. But, today, I had an epiphany. I was like, it's time to step my game. It's time to lock in with the boys and get one with the crew. So, I dug deep all on ESPN. Shout out to ESPN Plus. We in for a good matchup. Last year, they gave us a run for our whole bank account. All our financial aid. They gave us a run for the money. And we ended up coming back in double overtime, getting a dub. So, shout out to the team last year. And this team this year, I think we got another tough task on us. They 1-3, right?
They are 1-3.
They 1-3, so equal records. But this game is going to test on all facets of the game. They're a run-heavy team. I believe this game is going to be won at the line of scrimmage through at the trenches. whoever can run the ball better is going to be the winner of this game. That's what I think. Both quarterbacks, Southern Utah and our quarterback, they're not very a pass-heavy team. The attempts are very low. I want to say under 20, 25.
They are at 4 games, they have thrown the ball with their starting quarterback 61 times.
Yeah, so right at 20 times.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at to see who's going to run the ball more. I think, I'm not a football player. I've never played, any type of official football. I'm a hooper. That's what I am. I get buckets, right? But Bryce, tell me if I'm wrong. Best way, we was talking about cover 2 a couple days ago. That's how you want to stop the run and all that, right?
Two-high safety.
Yeah, that two-high safety look, right? So this is what I'm thinking. If you want to get away from running the ball and you want to make them throw it, get some advantages, throw a cover 2 blitz in there somewhere. Throw some pressure at him. He doesn't throw the ball a lot, so make him throw it deep. Because I seen that their longest pass play was like 32 yards. So my assumption, I'm not watching film on Southern Utah. Please, I got better things to do than watch film on Southern Utah. But what I'm saying is though, think about that. Your playmakers, that's like a 5-yard, 7-yard catch, and you break a tackle or 2, and now you got 30 yards. So my thing is, let's see if he can throw the ball deep. Let's make him work. What'd you say? Earn that scholarship.
Yep.
Let's see if he can earn that scholarship, make the quarterback throw the ball deep. But I think that's a premise of what the game could go into. What y'all got?
It says right here, Jackson Berry's only thrown for 355 yards this year. And like you said, they're probably not asking him to do too much. Because I feel like a lot of times you can say college football games are lost more than they're won sometimes. And I feel like this game might come down to not only who makes the most plays, but maybe who makes the less amount of mistakes. Who's going to take care of the ball? Who's going to be the more disciplined team? Because a lot of times when teams, you turn the ball over, you have a lot of penalties, and that's a lot of times that teams lose games. And I feel like the more disciplined team this week will be able to get the win no matter what. Like, it says like Jackson Bears throwing for 355 yards. They're leading rushers for 548 yards. So we'll see what happens. I feel like if we don't turn the ball over and we can just play a great execution Gov football, then they should be able to get the win. But I feel like it's going to come down to a very close game, and we're going to possibly – I might even call it. We might go to overtime again.
Overtime again?
I might call it. We might go to overtime again. We'll see, though. But I feel like it's going to be a good one this weekend.
So they are led by Delane Fitzgerald. This is his 3rd season. He's got a 12-14 overall record. That running attack that you talked about is led by – oh, boy. I'm probably going to butcher his first name. Targay? How you say it?
Let's go look.
Tarji?
Hey, why are you looking at
Tarji
me
Lamson.
like I'm the enunciator of the crew?
No, I'm just saying. Tarji Lamson. I mean, am I even close with that? I don't know. Tarji Lamson. If I mispronounce your name, I apologize. All right. But he is a ball player.
Spanish fork.
He has 548 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns. He's averaging 7.2 yards a pop right now. That's pretty good.
He get busy.
That means every 2 carries he's getting a first down.
Yeah.
So, again, they like to run the ball. They have other guys that have run the ball a lot for them as well. But Lamson is the guy that at least is going to tote it. And, I mean, when you're averaging 7.2 yards a carry, that means that you're an explosive playmaker at any level, but especially at this level. Averaging 7.2. That's going to be against a team that the Govs, at least outside of the Alabama A&M game, have struggled to stop the run. I mean, it's see the Central Arkansas game. I mean, Central Arkansas ran all over us.
They could have crawled to a first down.
I feel like one thing that we might need to hit on too is the weather conditions of this game.
Exactly. Yep. It's here Saturday. All right, and Hurricane Helene.
She in full effect.
She's in full effect. She moved my CHS game that I'm calling tonight from it was Friday, like all Friday night lights are, to tonight. So thanks, Helene. I had plans. And sure enough, they just got axed.
Hey man.
So
you want that paycheck?
I do want that paycheck.
I get that money.
It is a little extra for the road. So
I was a little extra for the road too.
A little extra for the road.
Oh yeah.
It gotta help with gas.
Yeah.
Okay. It gotta help with gas. But yeah, the weather is gonna be a factor most likely. But hey, what is gonna be a factor is it's back at the fort. So let me ask you guys this: what are the moments, or what are the keys you guys think for the Govs to get back-to-back wins here at the Ford? Let's go, Dylan. I know you look like you got something on your mind. Let's go, Dylan.
A key, I can say, getting to the quarterback. Like you said, weather conditions is going to be might be a factor. Don't know yet. We won't know until we'll see tomorrow how bad the rain hits us here in Clarksville. But I think getting to the quarterback. Seen another stat where they had a total negative lost yards from sacks was 89. So he lost 89 yards from being sacked. So I think if our defense can get to the quarterback and, force a 2nd and 15, 3rd and 11, 3rd and 18, some of them long-distance situations, make him pass the ball, you know what I'm saying, then I think we'll be able to get into some good situations defensively because I watched some highlights. I normally don't watch highlights. I'm not a highlight type of guy. But like I said, it's Southern Utah. I got things to do. You know what I mean? I got things to do. But what I did see from last year was that our defense, we had trouble like guarding the tight end. He had like a swing route, crossing route from the backfield. I'm not sure what that route is called. It was almost like a pistol type of formation, or he'll be on the line and he'll swing behind the offensive lineman and come through, something like that. I don't know what type of route that is.
I'll probably have to see it too.
Yeah, I don't know what type of route that is, but I seen we got obliterated with that route right there. And then what I also noticed, Austin Smith will be able to run the ball. DeLillo had 16 carries for 61 yards and 2 tutties. So if DeLillo can do that, and he's about quarter of the athlete, half the athlete that Austin Smith is, I'm seeing 16 carries, $125, 2-3 tutties, and maybe break off a 50 burger. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, that, like you said, the quarterback run game is when you can get the extra hat in there blocking for it, it can be a really backbreaker for you, especially when your quarterback's athletic like Austin is. But one key for me this week, I'm going to give it to our defense, is like if you can stop the run, like we talked about, the conditions are most likely going to be nasty. It's going to be wet, rainy. It's hard to throw the ball in those conditions.
And pellets going to be all over
the pellets, yeah, it's going to be a nasty game. But I feel like this is a team that has rushed for more yards than they have thrown for this year. So like I feel like if you can stop the run, make them have to throw the ball, which, like you said, in these conditions are going to be very tough to do. It might be windy. It's going to be wet. It's going to be hard to pass block. D-linemen are going to be slippery. Like I feel like if you can sell out and stop the run, which has been what their strong point has been this year, then you're going to put your offense in a good position to win the game. And from an offensive standpoint, no, don't shoot yourself in the foot. Don't turn the ball over. Protect the ball. Catch the snap first. Secure the handoff. Don't try to do too much with it. Once you get it, just get vertical, be slippery, and try to get what you can get. I feel like if you execute the game plan, take care of the ball, then they'll come away with the win.
Now, again, weather can be a factor. We don't know for sure because if anyone who lives in the Tennessee area knows, it can get nasty one day and then be bright and sunny the next. So we don't know. Again, the weather people are telling us it's supposed to be bad Friday night, so we'll see. Again, weather people are paid to be wrong 75% of the time.
No, I'm expecting because you can tell all week it'll sprinkle, it'll rain for a little bit.
It's a little chilly today too.
Yeah, it's a little. So I'm expecting.
You should prepare. If you're the coaches for either side, you should use the wet ball drill. You should prepare.
Yeah.
If you walk out of there Saturday and it's sunny and it's 75 degrees or whatever, then you're like, hey,
that's a positive.
That's a positive. We don't have to worry about it, but you should probably prepare for it. And hey, 2 hands on that ball. Both sides. They're saying 2 hands on the ball. Do not take a chance. But I think one thing we can hit on quick before we get into our pick 'em, brought to you by Dylan Walton, is the difference that we would look at in the season if we go 2-3 or 1-4. I mean, we're talking a monumental difference because we're a quarter of the way through the season. And 2-3, you're talking about at least staying in the ballpark of the conference. You're 1-1 in the conference. You're still within the standings in the ballpark of first. 1-4, you're going 0-2. You still have a long season, but it's going to be tough to climb out of.
Yeah, especially with the type of teams that we play. Seeing from the games last year to this year, and knowing that we got a completely brand new team, and these teams are not completely brand new. They got new pieces, but not completely brand new. We can't go 1-4.
Yeah, it's crucial to the end of the season when it comes to the playoffs. And I feel like because Central Arkansas might go and lose another conference game. Like, you never know. Like, that happened. I believe they lost. Did they lose a conference game last year?
Right before at the end of the season,
They
the
lost
last game of the season.
Well, no, they beat EKU at the Hail Mary. They should have lost.
Oh yeah.
They should
I
have.
forgot about that.
They should have lost, but they got lucky because the refs don't know how to keep time.
If you're the Govs, and not saying they will, but like if you can go out and win the rest of your conference games, and then all you need is Central Arkansas to lose one conference game, and then you're coming to a head-to-head moment right there based off of other factors that can determine whether or not who's going to be the conference champion. But still, like you said, going 2-3 compared to going
1-4.
1-4 is a huge difference for your team mentally and for playoff implications at the end of the year.
Now, I don't think the UAC will get a bid. They won't get so it probably will only come down to the conference champ getting in, because we've seen the Big Sky, the Pioneer League, those teams usually get about 3 or 4 bids because they are the better teams in FCS. You're talking North Dakota State, South Dakota State. You're talking, Missouri State. You're talking all those Midwest teams that are really, really good. So it's going to be interesting to see how we end up again with starting UAC play. This is going to be UAC for the rest of the season, except for the end when we play Chattanooga. They're the only other.
That's our kryptonite.
Ooh, boy, that one's going to be tough. Chattanooga's a very, very good football team.
Yeah,
and we're 1-1, I believe, in the last two matchups. We beat them in Chattanooga,
and then they beat
us
in the
playoffs. Here in the playoffs last year. Yeah.
First round.
First round.
Yeah, that was a field goal, wasn't it?
Game-winning field goal. Yeah.
Yep.
That was tough. I was not expecting
They
that.
didn't score a single point in the second half until that game-winning field goal. So that was a heartbreaker for us.
Yep, especially for a team that we thought was potentially going to go very deep
Very
into the playoffs.
conference.
We
Yeah,
were,
I thought
going
y'all
to
had
make a
it.
run, man. Like we had rattled off nine wins in a row, and we had a lot of momentum going into this game. We had just beaten Central Arkansas the week before that to give us the outright conference championship, and we just kind of let a few things slip during the game. Made a couple mistakes and didn't capitalize where we should have.
I got a question before we go to the next one. Do you think if we would have won that and made a deep playoff run, do you think Scotty stays?
No,
You
I think
he leaves regardless?
No, I think he'd have left regardless, because it doesn't matter how we finish. They looked at like UTEP and other schools are looking at, hey, this is the whole body of work.
Type. Okay.
And obviously you can't turn down life-changing money.
No, you can't.
Not that we're not paying coaches well, but we're not.
Other schools got more money. That's just keeping it real.
More incentives, and
Exactly.
He's back in his home state too.
Yeah.
Plus that, and
I don't think we could have given him probably the keys to Clarksville. He probably would have taken the UTEP job. So, and that's not his fault.
No,
I mean,
it's
again,
not. No, I was just wondering because
No.
we did have a. We was
unless
expected
you
to
think
do well.
different, I don't think.
no, like I think it would have held off a little longer. He might have even gotten a better offer if we would have went deeper into the playoffs.
It'd have made the him
story
leaving.
better.
Yeah, it had a better ending.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Okay.
But
I feel like we had the team. That was the team to do it, man.
Yeah, I
we
did too.
Had the pieces. We had the coaches. We had the culture. We had.
I was a fan last year. Boy.
This was
I was a fan.
This was a team that Coach Walton had built up for the past three and a half years. Like we were finally seeing the product on the field, and to have it all just end at the end there was kind of like it didn't really feel like it didn't feel like we lost. Like we knew we were the better team, and we just kind of gave the game to them. So
That sucks.
Yep. All right, so let's do the pick'em, as Dylan Walton has worked very hard. We kind of did like loosely a pick'em, but now we've got like a full-blown document. So Dylan, I'm gonna let you take it away.
All right. So I'm gonna explain it first, and then I'm gonna give. We didn't do last week because we were off. We were busy. Schedules were all over the place, and we probably knew we was gonna win the game anyways.
Right.
So I'm gonna explain it. We got the P pick'em, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So the rules are: it's only 3 rules. A correct prediction in terms of which team wins, 1 point. And then we're gonna put the document in there somewhere. We're gonna tidy it up for y'all, right? So if you get the correct team that wins, that's 1 point. You get a correct score prediction, it's 3 points, right? So
And it's within like 6 points.
that's the last
Okay,
rule.
okay.
I got you. Roll with me. We going 45 in the school zone. Roll with me. Roll with me. All right. So now we got the score prediction within 7 points of each team. So I'll give y'all an example. Let's say Georgia and Florida, right? I use Austin Peay. This is Austin Peay. I use Austin Peay. So say we beat Southern Utah, let's say 24-20, 24-21. We'll say 24-21. That's easier to do. If we're 7 points within each team, so 7 points of 24 is 17, and the other one's 14. If you're 7 points within either of those scores, you get half a point, right? So a total of 4.5 points is for each week, right? So we started off with Central Arkansas. I had 52-20, 35-28 was Christian, and 49-17 was Bryce. Who got the score of that game? I didn't put it in the document, actually.
I can pull it up real quick, and I already know that I was the closest. For what we're talking about the UCA game?
Yeah.
Oh no, never mind. I was not
you wasn't the closest.
I was the closest for the SIU
Was I the
game.
closest that game?
It was between me and you.
The score was 45-17.
Oh, yeah, you was off 4 points. So me and you was right there. I was 7 points on. So we all chose UCA.
Yep.
So we each get a point there. And then me and you get an extra half a point because we were 7 points away from each.
So me and you were tied.
Well,
right?
actually, we get a whole point because we were 7 points away from each team. So we got two. Me and you got 2 points, and you have half a point.
Okay.
So now we can get into our score predictions for the game against Southern Utah.
All right, so we're gonna have to make this a little quicker than I'd like to, but I'm gonna go first. I'm going to go 31-28 in favor of the Govs.
31-28
in favor of the Govs. So I think that home field advantage plays a factor. I think the weather could play a factor. Again, we'll see what the weather looks like Saturday, but got a little momentum going in the way. Southern Utah is off a 2-game losing streak, so I think the momentum we have at home, I think it gives us the 3-point advantage.
I'm going 27-24 in overtime.
Ooh.
Who you got winning?
I have Southern Utah winning.
Oh. All right. I know I'm going to be the only homer because I know what he's
Nah, I
choosing.
got it. I'm with us this week.
Oh, you for real?
Yeah.
All right. Wow.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dylan Walton's choosing Austin Peay to win a football game.
You know, I said we was going to go 0-4, not 0-5.
Okay.
I did say 0-4, but I'm going to go 2017. I think the rain does play a factor.
Okay.
I'm going to go 2017 us.
All right.
So that's what I'll go with. I think the rain plays a factor. I think hopefully, I don't know. I seen they got some good safeties, man. They have 5 safeties with double-digit tackles.
You got a game-winning field goal at the end, or
Yeah, I got game win. Well, I think we score. I think
score and hold them.
Yeah, I think we
Okay.
score and hold them.
Yeah. I think I got game-winning field goal. That's my
I got us in overtime. I got us get them stopping us kicking a field goal, and then them getting the ball and scoring a touchdown at the end of the day. Yeah.
Okay.
all right, so we'll see how that goes. Obviously, we're gonna make a graphic. That's probably something you can probably work on.
You got to help me with. You know, I ain't the camera.
He ain't tech savvy.
Yeah,
he
I
ain't
ain't
tech savvy.
You know, he missed the editor himself.
Well, I do use Canva. All right, that's what this is back here. Even though we spent 30 minutes trying to get the mini bar to not work, but that's a topic for another day. Okay, so we will see the Govs in action this Saturday and look forward to another game of the Fort. But we want to pivot our attention to highlight some more unsung Govs. We have our very own Abby Cater with the interview this week, and it's a very special interview. So, Abby, go ahead and take it away.
Hi, I'm Abby Cater, and today I'm here with Emma Loris. And I just want to start off by saying happy belated birthday. I know your birthday was on Monday, so happy belated birthday to you.
Thank you.
And I also wanted to thank you for coming out today. So tell me about yourself.
So my name is Emma Loris. I'm 21. I'm a junior. I play indoor volleyball here at Austin Peay State University. I'm originally from Bowling Green, Kentucky, so about an hour and a half away. I'm just happy to be here and thought I'd do an interview for you guys.
Thank you. And why did you choose Austin Peay?
Really because of the coaches and the players. When I first came on for my unofficial visit, I met all the players and they just were so goofy and laughed a lot, and so I really loved that. And the coaches were super inviting, and then also the fact that it's only an hour and a half away from home. I really liked being able to go home on a Sunday if I have an off day.
I know you had plenty of success in your high school career by winning 3 regional championships. So what translated to college? What did you bring from your high school that you learned to college?
So our high school was very strict, and we had a lot of goals that we had to set. And so, like you said, we won 3 region titles and made it to state every year except for my senior year. And so we had a lot of good players, so making sure that we had good team chemistry and setting goals and reaching those goals and being determined on that. So that was a big thing that we had to bring over to college. We set goals every semester, and so making sure that we hit those goals and adjust those goals based on what we need to do is super important for us. And our coaching staff is super they communicate a lot. The players communicate with the coaches, so being able to have that good connection and set goals based on what our needs are is really beneficial.
And I know you guys are in the midst of your season right now here at Austin Peay. So just tell me about some of the challenges that your team has faced thus far this season.
So we lost quite a few people last year, and now we have five or six incoming freshmen. So we're very young, and we don't have a lot of playing experience. And so a lot of our freshmen are having to play because we have so many of them and we lost so many people. So having to navigate team chemistry because we are basically a brand new team. And then also the freshmen getting used to this stage that they're playing on because they've never played against this type of level. So also we've had to have new leaders step up because all of our leaders were seniors and they graduated. So we have new leaders this year. So everyone just trying to come together. It's gotten better as we've gone throughout the season, and we start conference this week. So hopefully we come out with some wins.
Yes, I can't wait to see you guys in conference. And I know, just as me being an athlete myself, I know that we're constantly improving our game on a day-to-day basis. So, what is it that you could improve on in the home stretch of your season and in the off season, team-based?
I think just bringing the same intensity to practice that we do in games. You practice as you play, and sometimes some of our practices aren't as focused as they need to be, so really making sure that every practice we do it with intent. And so we've realized that this past weekend we played with a new level of intensity that we've never seen our team play with, and so we kind of surprised ourselves. So we just need to make sure that we hit that level of intensity every single day and not drop down.
Yes, that's the same for us, really. So what is your favorite memory thus far as being a Gov here?
So freshman year, I played beach, and after our conference tournament, we were able to go to the beach in St. Augustine. Our coach was nice enough to bring the entire team there, so we just had a huge day at the beach. Everyone was, body surfing the waves, tanning, and then we went and got lunch offshore. But we were just super thankful to be able to go out there, because normally when you go to the beach, I'm with my family. I'm never really with my friends, so being able to experience with your team was super, super awesome.
Well, Emma, I just wanted to thank you again for coming out today. And we have to wrap it up, and we're going to take it back to them in the studio.
All right, Abby. Really nice job with that interview. Again, we're going to see Abby and AJ more throughout the season. But I think we've gotten a lot of really positive feedbacks having the interviews in there, and I think it's been really awesome to see. Again, we're seeing obviously different athletes, a lot of football players, because it is in season right now, but it's always cool to see the unsung Govs, again, the teams that we don't normally talk about quite as much. But so really nice job, Abby. We'll see more of her. We'll see her in action as the basketball season is right around the corner, as Dylan is shaking his head and going, he knows what time it is. He knows exactly how long it's going to take.
Are we going to fill up the arena?
For what?
Basketball.
I think to start off, it'll be slow. I think for women's it'll be slow. I think for men's we have a chance because of the way because the way we ended last year. I think there's a chance. The men's will be jumping. I think the home opener.
But that's still hard to fill up though. I mean,
it was hard to fill up the Dunn Center, man.
Yeah.
It was hard to fill that up, and we moved over to F&M Bank Arena, and it's kind of.
I think the food plays a factor as well.
It does. They have better food.
The environment.
Yeah.
I think that plays. It's cold in there though.
Parking's not very ideal.
I was just saying that's a factor.
There is no parking. They're taking residential parking.
Yeah.
As for the people who live in the dorms, and not a fan of it.
Yeah. That is a factor. That the parking is hard.
Parking's hard on campus in general. By the way, parking, if you're watching this, please fix it.
Fix it.
Please.
No, please.
Put Bryce on the solo shot. We want to let him rant.
Let him rant. Get it right.
The parking department, it's worse than it was last year. Okay, listen, we have lots on the side of the road to where those used to be open spots to first come first serve. Why are those lots? So technically, those are not lots. It's the side of the road. Open those up to the people like me whose car's in the shop right now and can't get another permit for the car because he already has a ticket from y'all and he can't get a new permit until he pays that last ticket.
Preach, brother.
So please fix the parking.
Yes, sir.
Preach, brother.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right. That felt good, didn't it?
It did feel good.
That felt good. Yeah. So I don't think anyone is a fan of the parking department.
No, they beef with everybody right now.
Because they should. Because now, granted, I don't have to deal with this next semester. But imagine when that nursing building's finished, and
it's
all
cooked.
those nursing buildings park right there. So
And they're gonna be there early.
They have a specific guy just looking to give tickets.
Oh yeah.
Looking to give tickets.
Are you in the nursing? Are you in the nursing building? You cannot park here if you're not a nursing student. That's how it's gonna be. I'm telling you.
Did you pull through in parking? Is your tag on the backside? Well, that's a ticket because I can't be bothered to get out of my golf cart.
You're a cum major.
Did you back into your spot?
Ticket.
You work for Crunchtime. I seen your segment. 2 tickets for you.
It's always good to rant about parking for a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, we're going viral today, boys.
I don't know about viral, but
We're going back.
the parking department. If you're hearing this, which you're probably not, but if you are,
Somebody send it to him, please.
yeah, if you are hearing this,
We mean it with care, though, for real. We do mean
we
it.
mean it with care, but also you stink at your job.
Someone's got to tell you.
Anyway, moving on to Austin Peay women's soccer because we love our soccer team. We don't love the parking department, but we love our soccer team. The Govs Lady Soccers have gone one across the board. They have 1 win, they have 1 tie, and they have 1 loss in their last 3 matchups since we've last seen each other 2 weeks ago. They tied with Southern Indiana 0-0. They beat Bellarmine 1-0, and then they lost to EKU 0-1. The Lady Govs will see action here tonight against North Alabama at Morgan Field as they continue their ASUN play. I think they're pretty much ASUN for the rest of the season with like a couple exceptions. I think they played Chattanooga.
Yeah, somewhere towards the end of the season.
I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they're ASUN play throughout the rest of the season. And so we got about 5 minutes, so we're going to speed through this a little bit. Speaking of the Lady Govs and the golf department have been busy since our last episode. They have had a first-place finish in the Velvet Classic from the team up north that shall remain nameless. They've also placed 4th and 3rd in their matchups since then. And then their next match will be October 6th and 7th, so they got a little bit of a break. And they will play the team from up north, again, that shall remain nameless, in the Battle of the Border. So it's nice that we still have the Battle of the Border in some form of capacity. But, guys, we've got about 4-ish minutes left. Oh, you know what we can talk about? A returning member of our Crunch Time will be back next week.
Yeah, while y'all on vacay.
Okay, so let's talk about this. So to end the show, as Bryce is looking up weird pictures on his computer next to me. So let's talk about next week. We are going to have an episode next week, all right? But it will look a little different.
That's next week?
Yes.
Next week.
Wow.
As of right now, myself and Bryce Robinson will be in Atlanta for Thursday. I will be in Atlanta for Thursday and Friday night. You will be there Thursday night, Friday night, and then Saturday.
Saturday morning to the evening-ish. We'll be
Yes.
back Saturday evening. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, so that's just your travel day.
Yeah.
Saturday your travel.
Well, you got like conferences and stuff.
I got conferences to do. I got to speak on a panel on Saturday or something like that.
For real?
So, yeah.
And we got we got conferences Friday. But
What's Thursday?
Thursday night we will be in Mercedes-Benz. It's Mercedes-Benz, isn't it?
Yeah, Mercedes-Benz.
Mercedes-Benz
Yeah.
Stadium, watching Bryce's favorite quarterback, Baker Mayfield, take on the home team Atlanta Falcons in Kirko chains.
Captain Kirk.
Captain Kirko.
Big Kirko wakes up dripping like this.
So that's something that's really cool that we were like, well, dang, we don't want to have another 2-week gap. So we have brought back from the dead. Drum roll stop. In Mr. Reesbridge.
No!
He will be returning. He has given us a yes as of right now that he will be back next week. We also potentially will have potentially, we don't know for a fact yet. He gave us a yes today.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Knox Reeves will be making his Crunch Time debut.
The guy we seen earlier?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
As of right now, again, he is also a very busy man. We don't know for sure whether he can do it or not, but as of right now, he's given us a yes. But at the very least, it'll be Mr. Reese Britt and Dylan Walton.
2-man crew.
2-man crew potentially.
It
Could
ain't
be
nothing.
3-man
Hey,
crew.
that pick and roll, I still got it, baby. I can do that.
So, next week, potentially again, Mr. Resprit will be back. We'll be excited to have him. I know we will be excited to watch the episode. That's going to be interesting. Who's going to edit the episode?
It may be up a little late, guys. That's all I'm saying.
They'll send it to you Thursday night.
Me? No.
Nah,
I don't
I'm
know.
gonna do it. I'm gonna work hard.
All right.
I may call you, but
So as of right now, we have episodes releasing Thursday at 6 p.m. Next week might be an exception because the editing guy is going to be out of town. But that's going to wrap it up for us guys today here on Crunch Time. Continue, again, to tune in. We have it set right now that Thursdays weekly at 6 p.m. is when we want to schedule the episodes to release. So tune in to APSU-TV. For our crew, Isabella Christensen running the TD right now. She's done a fantastic job as well as the audio. And then obviously our producers, Steve Sawyer and David Ellison. David was giving us some critiques, but also some praise about our setup. We also added to the setup. We got a new tablecloth. Yeah. It's probably older than all of us put together, but that's fine.
I like it though. It adds.
It adds something to it.
Yeah.
We're getting better every week.
Yeah, we're gonna finish out. We're gonna fix the mini bar. We're gonna figure that out. But there's always got to be something that we got to fix, and so that chose to be it this week. But guys, I'm Christian Hunt. That's Dylan Walton to my right. That's Mr. Bryce Robinson to my left, and this is Crunch Time. And for this week's episode, we say peace.